This is Tim Knight, the creator of Slope of Hope, and I wanted to do a more thorough overview of the site. There's a quick start video which just kind of rushes through in a couple of minutes, but I simply wanted to take a membership-based approach to explain the different features on the site. And there's going to be a lot of jumping around because I'm going to do this basically by membership and talk briefly about what each feature entails. This is not a tutorial. It's not going to teach you how to use all the features. There's plenty of tutorials on the site, video and text. So this is really more to give you a taste of what each level has so that you can decide which one is right for you. The lowest level of all is just guest, which is just show up. And you're not signed in. We don't know who you are. You just kind of show up. And a guest can read the blog. So for example, you just go to blog and you can just click right at the top of the menu, blog, and that'll bring up in reverse chronological order the different blog entries, and you can read them. To read any particular blog in full, just click on the title, and that'll bring up the entirety of that post as well as all the comments associated with that post. It'll also show at the top there, scrolling, the various items that have been stacked to Social Trade, which is the database of charts that's crowdsourced. We all contribute to that. But at the bottom, there will be any number of comments from all of my beloved slopers out there. You can read them, but you can't contribute. As you can see right there at the bottom, this is like login required, which is the truth. You can also click next and prior to go from post to post. So thing one you can do as a guest is read any of the 13 years of blog posts that are in there. There's like 20,000 of them. You can also use a little page called Woulda, Shoulda, Coulda, which is a way to kind of torture yourself and see that if you had invested a certain amount of money in a certain kind of stock, let's say Amazon, if you put $10,000 into it back on 10/1 2002, what would it be worth today? And it would be worth over $1 million. Congratulations. So yeah, a guest can use that. And you can also use Social Trade. Now, one thing I want to emphasize about the menus here is that there are individual menu items, but the most commonly chosen item in the menu can be selected simply by clicking the menu head itself. So Social Trade, you can click Browse Stacks, but you can also just blithely click Social Trade and it'll go right there, and you can browse those stacks. And these are hierarchically arranged, so you could click Analytics, it'll drill down, and you can click on Analogs and it'll drill down. And then once you're there, you see the individual items grouped, and you can look at anything individually of interest and thumb through place to place. There is nothing like this anywhere else on the internet, period. Except for Pinterest, if you want to look at, like, macrame that people made and jars and so forth. But as far as technical analysis, there's nothing else that comes that's even similar. So that's what you can do as a guest for $0 and zero commitment. That's what guests can do. Now, I would prefer you not just be a guest. You should at least be a sloper. And I get nothing out of that because there's no money. And we have never sold your email address. It's just not my style to do so. I've got a very rich database of contacts, and I've made exactly $0 over 13 years because I just don't dig selling your information. So what you got to do is go up here and say create account. And there are 5 accounts as of this recording. And if you want to be free, just kind of get acquainted with the site, click on select. And on this page, it shows you the dozens and dozens and dozens of features that are available, and what privileges each level gets, from Sloper all the way up to Diamond, who gets everything. So with Sloper, besides the stuff that I just showed you, you get some other goodies. And I'm not going to revisit the pages that I've looked at already, but I'll just talk about some of these. You already know as a guest, you can read the blog post and go to Woulda, Shoulda, Coulda and browse Social Trade. You can also use slope charts, which I'll show you in a moment. You can post your own comments, which is very important. Basically, you become a member of the community, and you should put an avatar there and tell people about yourself and just, join the club. There have been people who basically, I don't think they've left Slope for one day in the past dozen years because people love hanging out. You can earn badges. So based upon your participation, it'll just automatically put badges. You may have noticed in comments, people have different badges based upon how active they are and how much people like them and all that. You get 2 years of backdated slope charts, and you can also post your own stuff to Social Trade. So the key here between a guest and a sloper is that you become a member of the community, and you can contribute. You contribute comments, you can contribute to Social Trade, and as I said earlier, you can make slope charts. Now, I am going to log in right now because I'm still a guest right now. I'm just going to log in as me. And one thing I'll just mention now that I've done that is notice how the ads have suddenly disappeared. If you are a premium member, bronze, silver, gold, diamond, there are no more ads. If you are a guest or a sloper, there's ads all over the place. And so that's one benefit I'll just mention, since that's the thing that just changed now that I'm logged on as me. But anyway, as I said, you can go to slope charts. And just a word about this, because it's kind of an important part of the history of this. I created profit charts, which have been used since like 2000 by traders all over the world. And it's said that they're going to go away and they're going to get shut down. And when I found that out a couple of years ago, I sort of freaked out because my life really revolved around profit charts. And I looked for something else because I thought I was going to lose my platform. And I looked high and low, and I found nothing that I liked. And it sounds corny, it sounds fake, it sounds like I'm making it up. I promise you I'm not. I decided, well, I got to do it again. I've got to make my own charts, just like I did back in the 90s. And so I created slope charts. I make them for myself. I make them to my own liking. And if there's anything I don't like, or if I want, I go to my engineers and I say, ramp, 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 and they make them. That is my brilliant product management strategy. It turns out that some people like the same kind of charts I like, and so my efforts are used by others too. That's kind of was Profit Chart's brilliant strategy too, by the way. So I basically make the charts that I want. Now, as I said, you can go to the video tutorials under slope charts or the reference guide and learn all about this amazing product that my life now revolves around. 365 days a year, I'm using this product for hours at a time. And it's always getting new features, and I always squawk about what's new there, so you won't miss that. But it's a wonderful product. One of the places where there's a lot of difference based upon the kind of member you are is over in the preferences. So, for example, a sloper will get 2 years of data. Bronze gets 5 years, silver gets 10 years, and then gold and diamond, they get everything. There are a number of other differences in features, quite a few actually, amongst those different memberships. So if you basically try to use something in here, currency converter, the economic database, it's the technical studies, anything which you're not allowed to use because you're not a high enough membership, it'll tell you. And will, of course, give you the opportunity to upgrade at that point. So it's the features will be self-evident. All right. Well, let's continue on with what the differences are, because I've kind of run through bronze at this point. Actually, it's sloper at this point. What do you get if you get a premium service, the bronze one? And that was, of course, we can go up to premium levels of service, and we can check out bronze. So in this case, you obviously get all the stuff that you get as a sloper, but you get some other goodies. Instead of 2 years of data, you get 5 years. The charts will update in real time. And I want to be very careful with that word. It's real time from IEX. It's not from the exchange itself. So it might be a couple of seconds behind, but it's a very, very good proxy for the real time data and without all the exchange fees. You get to have full screen slope charts. What you were just looking at was just normal slope charts. You can make it blow up. If you got a 50-inch screen, great. It'll fill all 50 inches. It can be as big as your screen is. You get access to the technical studies library. You also get an earnings calendar and a day until earnings feature. And of course, what I just said, the advertising free experience. And by earnings calendar, I'm referring to this page right here, which shows you for all the stocks on any given day what's going to report before the market, during the market, or after the close. During earnings season, of course, this is especially helpful. So a bronze membership is the lowest price, $9.95 a month, and those are some of the things you get, including, as I said earlier, no ads on the site. For the silver membership, and again, I'll hop from page to page here to emphasize this. For the silver membership, see where these check marks kick in. You get slope matrix streaming quotes, which I'll show you in a moment. You get continuous futures charts. You get something I love, which is the preloaded watch list. What that means is instead of it taking a couple of seconds per chart, it takes basically 0 seconds. If you preload a watch list, you can load charts pretty much as fast as your finger can bang on the down arrow. For someone like me who looks at literally like 800 charts a day, that's very valuable. 10 years of back data, automatic trend lines. These are incredible. And there's an entire video tutorial about automatic trend lines, which kind of brings that to life. Those are coupled with instant trend lines. So those are kind of hand in hand, amazing feature. Also Forex charts, that is currency pairs. You can save chart styles. The refresh rate is faster on the charts. And you get access to the technical analysis video library. So silver, I would think, would be an appropriate membership for a fairly serious swing trader who really doesn't have any interest in some of the features that gold gets or my ideas, because the big deal with gold is you get exclusive posts with my ideas. I promised Slope Matrix. I'm recording this during non-market hours, so it's not really going to be very interesting and flash and update and so forth. But what this product essentially does is takes your watch lists and presents them and updates them, and you can sort based upon like a dollar change, percentage change, and so on. This is my core list right here. As I say, we're not live at the moment, so they would normally be flashing like a Christmas tree. But this is, if you want to follow your quotes on your watch list closely, this is the way to do it. All right, well, let's go up to gold. Now, gold, back in the day, this was called Slope Plus. Now, everything Slope Plus used to be is now incorporated in gold. The biggest difference between silver and gold is this item right here, exclusive trading ideas. These are the my own best ideas. There's no particular calendar. If I have one a day or one every week or 3 in a day or what have you, I specifically silo off my best trading thoughts and ideas for gold and diamond memberships. You also get the ability to publish and share watch lists. And this is especially helpful if you're interested in what I'm doing, because everybody has access to my watch lists. You can, kind of, the curtain is pulled back. You basically see every single thing that I have a position in, and even the stuff I'm thinking of having a position in. You also get sectors. You can filter symbols based on the sectors. Earnings information is shown directly on the chart. You can make custom chart symbols like, gold divided by silver, or the S&P 500 times the interest rates, etc. You also get dual symbols and price axes. So if it'll independently show, I'll just show you an example right here. We'll just hop over to slope charts. Let's say, for example, I wanted to look at, say, Amazon as well as Tesla. So I could just type in AMZN, TSLA, and it loads both of them, and it displays them both, but in blue and with its own price axis is Tesla, and in black with its own price axis is Amazon. Now, as far as those exclusive ideas go, the way you would get to them under premium is just go to members only posts, and it operates and looks just like the regular blog. The only thing special about it is that nobody else can see them except for gold and silver members, and they don't tend to have a lot of discussion. As you can see, it's like 4 comments. Oftentimes it's 0 comments, just because most people just chatter away in just the normal posts. These tend to be just really more me focused on sharing the idea. But these go out, you get automatically emailed the moment that it's published. I'll also mention for gold folks, you get member-only videos. And what that is they're videos about technical analysis, and you get exclusive access to that. Now, the last level is silver, and there are a number of interesting things going on there. First of all, you get what's known as future trend. This is an incredible feature in slope charts, which I want to say projects the future, but I'm very careful about that because it does its best, but obviously it doesn't really predict the future. It plots based upon seasonal and historical data its conjecture as to what the future might hold. Interestingly, it will also project what it would have predicted if you had asked it in the past. So here, for example, is Amazon a couple of years ago. And so if you took a time machine back and asked future trend, what will Amazon do? This is what it would have plotted in blue. As you can see, didn't happen, but it was an interesting approximation. Let's face it, Amazon went a lot farther than anybody imagined. But the purpose of it is to sort of tease out how good it is at a particular instrument. So for example, there have been instances where I've been quite amazed. Here's Apple, for example, at the quality of the prediction. Obviously, it's not lined up perfectly, but that blue line did an awfully good job of approximating what Apple did in the future. So again, future trend is exclusively for the Diamond membership. You also get what's called a customized earnings calendar. And what this does is it takes your watch lists, which obviously one of your watch lists will probably be dedicated to your positions, and shows you the earnings date for that. So for example, TKO short is where my symbols are of my live positions. And so this shows, based upon those many positions, when the earnings is going to be on them and how many days from now. Now I'm recording this during the middle, that we're nowhere near earnings season. So a lot of these dates are way in the future, 50, 60 days off in the future. But as you get into the thick of earnings season, this becomes terribly helpful because you can really stay on top as to the stocks that matter the most to you are going to report. There's another rather subtle feature in slope charts specifically for Diamond members, which is the non-adjusted price data. And it's over in the preferences. Right over here, adjust data for splits and dividends. You can turn that off, and what that allows for is it shows the actual price data back historically without taking into account splits and dividends. One final feature in Diamond right now is the price-based charts. This is very good for options traders. We go over here to price change charts, and this does something interesting with respect to earnings. It takes all the quarters for a given stock prior to earnings being reported and shows what the stock price did in the 20 days for each and every day up to the earnings announcement and then the day after the announcement. Here, for instance, is Apple. Each one of these lines shows what Apple as a company did as a stock running up to its earnings announcement. And the black line is an average of all of those. So this is a terribly interesting way to see the behavior, the psyche, if you will, of a particular financial instrument based on many, many quarters of data as it approaches an earnings event. All right, well, I'm bound to have missed a few things, but that is not a terrible overview, I don't think, of the site. The menus, I think, are fairly clear as to what they do, and there is plenty of help on the site. If you ever reach an obstacle or a question or whatever, just go to help and send email to Tim, and I will be glad to answer your question. So I hope this has been instructive, and I certainly hope to see you on Slope.